Stop waiting for others to tell you your way, your meaning, your purpose. It's actually not going to come that way. In today's video, I share a few of my own stories of me looking outside of myself to all these other people, to all these other things, to find meaning and purpose in my life. But it wasn't out there. It wasn't in those places that I was looking. So I will also then share 3 tips on where and how to start looking. So thank you for joining me. I'm AmyC with You Finding You. I'm an intuitive and transformational coach, and I help you look within to step inward and start finding your meaning in life, who you are from the inside. And currently, if you check in the dialog box below, I have a mini program that you could snag up, and it's finding you and finding your way back, journey back into you. And if you're like me as well, I spent so long looking for all of these answers outside of me when actually all of the answers are within. So this mini course helps you start to take the steps to looking within in ways that you haven't maybe done so far. So do check it out. The link is in the dialog box below. So a couple years ago, I was living in Mexico City, and each morning I would walk over to the big park in Chapultepec, which is like the idea of Central Park in New York, and big park that I could go sit by the lake. And on my way there, all the time, I was like, I am seeking my purpose, seeking my meaning. I was no longer content in my career and everything, so I was like, I really want to find something more meaningful for me, not just continuing the grind, my everyday work and, bringing in money through things that I'm actually not really happy with. And while there were aspects I loved, there were also aspects that just, it wasn't working for me anymore. So I was constantly out there going, okay, what am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? What is my meaning? And I found at that time, I was even saying, okay, universe, guides, all my spirit team, whatever, just tell me what to do. And as you tell me what to do, I'll just go do it. I'll just start doing it. Just tell me. But what I didn't realize too is that if I had some voice come in and say, here is the path you're on, this is what you're doing, I would probably be kind of like, yeah, right. Yeah, that's not actually it. Like, I don't believe I actually would listen or trust that voice inside of me to be like, yeah, that's my actual path. I started to realize that my path is defined within me. And it is defined within the loves, the joys, the things that I really like doing and what lights me up. That is what comes through and is what is true in me. So, like I said, even if I had this voice outside of me or a voice inside of me saying, here's your path, I would be like, really? I don't know for sure if that is. I don't know, because I haven't gotten to a point where I'm like, yes, this truly lights me up. Yes, this makes me feel good inside. So how do I even start with this? Like, where do I even begin? And one of the things I started doing a couple of years ago, I lived nomadically. And initially, when I started living nomadically, I planned out the whole year ahead, and I booked into Airbnbs and cities and places that I wanted to experience. And then I went through the year and was like, well, now where do I want to go? And I would book a couple months ahead of time, like always arranging something ahead of time and like, oh, maybe let's experience this place or that place. And then I got to where I was like, well, where do I feel guided to go? And when I say guided, again, it's not this voice coming in saying, you're going to go to Mexico, you're going to go to wherever it is. I wasn't getting those kind of voices. I wasn't getting this guidance from outside of me. Instead, I would get something coming up on Facebook that's like, oh, this looks interesting, or oh, I really feel a craving in myself of I want to be near rocky coastline with foggy mornings, or I want to be up in the mountains, but what does that look like? And so I'd start getting curious about what does that look like? Where does that mean? And I would look online for different places and I would always get a feeling of, nah, that doesn't feel right. Or then I would start to get a feeling of, oh, this looks really cool. This looks like a place I want to go. So when I felt guided, it's that I would feel this yes inside of me of like, yes, this feels good. This is where I want to go. This is right for me. So with that, I then started following my guidance of like, oh, this place sparks my interest. This place brings up what really feels good in me. So these 3 tips are ways that you can start looking inward and listening to that voice inside of you that is giving you the guidance. And that guidance is helping lead you towards your loves, your joys, what brings you meaning, and showing you from the inside that this is what sparks my interest. This is what I want to do and what is meaningful for me and bringing me purpose in life. So the first one is following that spark. And just like I had shared, I was following what then lit me up. Like I would see a post on Facebook and be like, oh, this place looks interesting. Let's explore it. Or I would feel like I feel drawn to this kind of location or this place. Or something would come up and like as I would look for digital nomad locations and it's like, oh, this place looks interesting. Okay, let's explore it and look into it. But it would give me a little spark inside. And it's funny because when I think of people giving you guidance, that word of like someone says, oh, I felt guided here. It's like my automatic thoughts is like, oh, someone actually said to them, go this place. Like I actually think of being guided as you're given this information of like, here you go, you're going to this place. But actually, when I think of being guided now, it's like, no, it's this inner spark that lights me up. And then that is what I then start following. So I follow this path of where I'm being lit up, what is sparking inside of me. And the second tip is checking in with the body. So we can be up here in our thoughts and be like, well, this place seems logical, that place feels logical. But when you then check into your body, is there like like a heaviness in the body of like, oh, I really don't feel good about this? Or is there an openness and an expansiveness? And like the spark for me is I feel lighter, I feel more joyful. I just, again, it feels more expansive and open in my body rather than this constrained or constricted kind of feeling inside of me. So the second tip of checking in with the body, again, it's not just going with your logic or with thoughts or what you're reading, but really feeling into and sensing what the body is saying. And the third tip is don't dismiss the cravings. So when I talk about cravings, it's like this desire that comes up inside of you. And for myself, earlier this year, I was really, like I mentioned, this rocky coastline with crisp morning air. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to go to an island. I'm going to go, to some island somewhere. But when I thought about tropical islands, I was like, no, I don't want tropical. I don't want hot. I don't want beaches, like sandy. I just don't want that. I want rocky coastlines and rocky beaches. And so I was like, well, what does that mean for me? And then I started thinking, well, I also was looking at like places in Europe, and Europe didn't feel right either for time zones, for whatever reasons. I was kind of like, yeah, it just doesn't feel like I feel kind of a heaviness around it. So I was wanting to stay more in the Americas. And, South, North America, whatever, Central, any of those felt okay. So I was like, well, what does rocky coastline with foggy mornings mean? And it started drawing me towards the Pacific Northwest in the US. And I was like, oh, yeah, that actually feels really light. It felt really open. And as soon as I started to feel that, things started lining up. And I was able to get into places and arrange these beautiful places I was staying at and am staying at. And it just was like, just like that, things started to line up. So it was listening to that initial craving, and then really, it's not that I got fully clear on what it was I wanted, because I still was like, well, what island could look like this? Like, where can I go? And as I started to explore and really feel into in the body feelings as well, it was like, yeah, okay, Europe doesn't feel as light for me. So what does that mean? How does that then look? And it then meant that, okay, I wasn't going to an island, but instead I was going to a coast. And so these 3 tips you can start playing with to really follow that inner guidance inside of you. So it's not, again, about looking to others outside of you, or like myself even, of looking to my guides, you know. It's like even to them, it was like they're outside of me. That information is not inside of me, and the feelings that are coming up from within. And for me as well, this has been an ongoing process. So it is something that little by little I've been discovering more, that I was always looking outside of me to define who I was on the inside. And I really didn't know who I was, like what I love, what I want to do, who I want to be, my purpose and passions in life. I had to find all of that within. So if you are curious as well, I have a coaching program that goes more into these things to help you really connect into and find that voice inside of you stepping into. And you can check out in the dialog box below the Intuitive Embodiment Coaching Program, where I do help you start to really look within. And like I was saying with myself, is I had no idea that there was this wealth of information inside of me, because I kept looking for it everywhere outside of me. So this program helps you start to answer all these questions, and they all come from within. So thank you for joining me today. If you are enjoying getting value out of these videos, do hit that like, share, and subscribe. And thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.